From Montana.
Mr. President, I want to thank the senator from Utah, my good friend, his leadership on the USA Freedom Act. I recently returned from an official trip to the Middle East with Leader McConnell and several of my fellow first-term senators. We met with leaders in Israel, in Jordan, in Iraq, Kuwait, and Afghanistan to discuss the political and security issues facing Middle Eastern nations. We also met with a number of America's service members who are bravely securing our country in these crisis-stricken regions and working every day to keep our nation safe from the extreme forces that wish to destroy us. These meetings painted a very clear picture. The terror imposed by extreme forces like ISIS and the threats facing our allies in the Middle East are real, and they're growing every single day. But the growing presence of ISIS in the Middle East isn't just affecting the long-term security of nations like Iraq and Syria. It is no longer a risk isolated geographically to the Middle East. These extreme Islamic forces are working every day to harm the American people within our borders and on our soil. And it's critical that our law enforcement officials and our intelligence agencies have the tools they need to find terrorists in the United States and abroad, identify potential terror attacks, and eradicate these risks. Because ISIS isn't just working to inflict physical damage upon our country and our people. This extreme group and other like-minded terrorists are intent on destroying our very way of life, our nation's foundation of freedom and justice for all. But as we strengthen our intelligence capabilities, we must with equal vigor and determination protect our Constitution, our civil liberties, the very foundation of this country. If the forces of evil successfully propel leaders in Washington to erode our core constitutional values, we will grant these terrorists a satisfying victory. We must never allow this. We must uphold the Constitution. We must work to protect the balance between protecting our nation's security while also maintaining our civil liberties and our constitutional rights. That's why I, like so many Montanans, am deeply concerned about the NSA's bulk metadata collection program and its impact on our constitutional rights. This program allows for the NSA to have uninhibited access to America's phone records. I firmly believe that this is a violation of America's constitutional rights, and it must come to an end. Montanans have also long been concerned about that the NSA has overreached its legal authority when implementing its bulk data collection program. The recent ruling from the New York-based Second Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals confirmed it. The court ruled unanimously that Section 215 of the Patriot Act does not authorize the NSA's bulk collection of American phone metadata. But this isn't just the first time that the legality of NSA's bulk data collection practices have been questioned. A 2014 report from the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board, which is a nonpartisan, independently privacy board, found that Section 215 does not provide authority for the NSA's collection program. The report raised serious concerns that the NSA's program violated the rights guaranteed under the First and Fourth Amendments. The report states, under the Section 215 bulk records program, the NSA acquires a massive number of calling records from telephone companies every day, potentially including the records of every call made across the nation. Yet Section 215 does not authorize the NSA to acquire anything at all. And the report concludes, and I quote, "The program lacks a viable legal foundation under Section 215. It implicates constitutional concerns of the First and Fourth Amendments, raises serious threats to privacy and civil liberties as a policy matter, and has shown only limited value. For these reasons, the government should end the program," and I strongly agree. In addition, the independent commission found that the bulk collection program contributed only minimal value in combating terrorism beyond what the government already achieves through other alternative means. So claims that this program provides unique value to our security were not validated and refuted by the commission. As Montana's senator, I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. It's a responsibility and a promise that I take very seriously. And that's why I've joined Senators Lee, Leahy, and others to introduce the USA Freedom Act of 2015. This bipartisan legislation will end the NSA's bulk data collection program, while also implementing greater oversight, transparency, and accountability in the government's surveillance activities. The USA Freedom Act strikes the right balance between protecting our security and protecting our privacy. It still allows necessary access to information specific to an investigation with an appropriate court order and provides the flexibility to be able to move quickly in response to emergencies. But it stops the indiscriminate government collection of data on innocent Americans once and for all. I've long fought to defend Montana's civil liberties, protecting privacy and constitutional rights from big government overreach. And after spending 12 years in the technology sector, I know firsthand the power that data holds and the threats to American civil liberties that comes with mass collection. As Montana's lone representative in the U.S. House, I co-sponsored the original USA Freedom Act that would have ended the NSA abuses and overreach. I also supported efforts led by Congressman Justin Amash to defend the 2014 Defense Appropriations Bill and end the NSA's blanket collection of American telephone records. We made significant ground last year in raising awareness of this overreach. But the fight to protect America's civil liberties and constitutional freedoms is far from over. And that's why I'm proud to stand here today as a co-sponsor of the USA Freedom Act of 2015 and a strong advocate and defender of America's right to privacy. As risks facing the homeland and our interests overseas remain ever present, it's critical that our law enforcement has the tools they need to protect our national security from extremists who wish to destroy our nation and our very way of life. The USA Freedom Act provides these tools. But we must also remain vigilant to ensure that American civil liberties aren't needlessly abandoned in the process. We need to protect and defend the homeland. We need to protect and defend the Constitution. I stand here today with full confidence that the USA Freedom Act achieves both, and I urge the Senate to pass it. Thank you, and I yield back.
Mr. President.